I'm 82 years old, and most mornings I wake up surprised. I'm still here. The house is quiet in a way that feels permanent now. Not peaceful, just finished. When you get to this age, you don't think about what you're going to build next. You think about what you built. At the end of this video, I'm sharing something I wish someone had told me years ago. It cost me time, pain, and experience to learn. Don't skip. This last message matters.
People assume my biggest regret must be something dramatic, a betrayal, a mistake, a scandal. But it isn't. It's smaller than that, quieter. My biggest regret is that I kept believing there would be more time to sit with my wife at the table after dinner, instead of clearing my plate and heading back to the office. More time to really listen to my son's long, rambling stories about dinosaurs and rockets. More time to rest my hand on my daughter's shoulder when she leaned into me on the couch. I thought life was long. I thought love was patient. I was wrong. When I was 32, I thought I was doing everything right. I had a good job at a manufacturing company, middle management, steady promotions. I wasn't rich, but I was climbing. I remember standing in the garage one evening, looking at the used sedan I'd just bought, feeling proud. I told my wife, Ellen, we're getting somewhere. She smiled at me. She always did. Back then, my days were structured. Up at 6, coffee in a travel mug, kiss Ellen on the cheek. Sometimes she'd still be in her robe, hair unbrushed, holding our baby girl on her hip. I'd say, I'll make it up to you this weekend. I said that a lot, and I meant it. That's the thing, I meant it every time. In my 30s, it felt responsible to stay late. It felt noble to miss dinner because I was providing. My father worked himself into an early grave, and I grew up believing that was what a good man did. He didn't say much, but he paid the bills. He kept the lights on. That was love in his language. So I learned that language. There were little moments. My son had a school play when he was 8. He was a tree. I remember because Ellen laughed when she told me. He's very committed to the role, she said. I promised I'd be there. That afternoon, my boss called me into his office. A shipment had gone wrong. Numbers didn't line up. He needed me to stay and sort it out. I remember looking at the clock. The play started at 6. I'll catch the next one, I told myself. He's only 8. There will be dozens of plays.
Before we move ahead, I want to tell you something important. Subscribe to the channel. The team behind this channel puts real effort into sharing real stories from real people to help improve your life.
When I got home, the house was dark. Ellen had left my plate in the oven. There was a paper leaf on the kitchen counter with my son's name written in black marker. I picked it up. It had glue on the edges where it had been pinned to his costume. I told him I was proud of him. He said, "It's okay, Dad." He shrugged. That shrug stayed with me longer than the play would have. The damage never came all at once. That's why I didn't see it. It was a slow thinning, like fabric wearing down at the elbows. Dinners where I nodded but didn't hear. Vacations where I brought paperwork. Birthdays where I slipped outside to take calls. I told myself this was temporary once we paid off the house, once I got the promotion, once the kids were older. There was always an once. "I'm right here," I'd answer, tapping the stack of files in front of me. "This is for us." She'd look at me in a way I didn't understand then. It wasn't disappointment exactly. It was something softer, like she was already letting go of an argument she knew she wouldn't win. In my 40s, the promotions came. Bigger office, better title, more money than I'd ever imagined when I was young. We moved into a larger house with a staircase that curved in a way that made guests say, "Wow," when they walked in. I thought that staircase meant I had done right by my family, but by then my son had stopped telling me his long stories. They got shorter. School was fine. Nothing much. My daughter spent more time in her room. When I knocked, she'd say, "Just a minute." And sometimes that minute never ended. I told myself that was normal. Teenagers pull away. That's what people said. Maybe it is. But I made it easier for them to pull away. The first real crack came the night Ellen's mother died. We were in our early 50s. The call came after midnight. Ellen sat on the edge of the bed, phone pressed to her ear, saying, "Okay, I understand." When she hung up, she didn't cry right away. She just looked at the wall. I put my hand on her back and said, "I'll call the office in the morning. Let them know I'll be late." She turned to me and said, "Late? John, she's gone." One evening she said, "Do you ever wonder what we would have been like if you'd been home more?" I laughed, not kindly, not cruelly either, just dismissively. "We did fine," I said. "The kids turned out okay." She nodded. "Yes," she said, "they did." That was the turning point, though I didn't see it clearly until much later. Ellen got sick at 71. It was quiet at first, fatigue, a cough that wouldn't leave, then tests, then that word you never think will belong to you, cancer. Suddenly I had all the time in the world. I retired without hesitation, cleared my desk, gave a speech about dedication and teamwork. They gave me a plaque. I brought it home and leaned it against the wall in my study. It's still there, gathering dust. I sat beside Ellen through appointments, through treatments, through the slow draining of her strength. I held her hand the way I should have decades earlier. I told her stories about the kids when they were small. No, she smiled at those. One afternoon in the hospital, she looked at me and said, "You're here." "I'm not going anywhere," I told her. She closed her eyes and said, "I know. I just wish we'd had more of this." That sentence broke something in me that has never healed. More of this. Not vacations, not houses, not promotions, just sitting, just being, just time, without a clock ticking in my head. She died on a Tuesday. The room was very still. After they took her away, I sat there alone for a long time. They don't resent me. That almost makes it worse. There's no fight to resolve, just a mildness, a habit of not needing me too much. That's what I built, a life where I was useful but not essential. In the evenings, I sit in the same chair Ellen used to sit in. I run my hand along the armrest where the fabric has worn thin. I think about all the times she said, "I miss you," while I was physically in the room. My biggest regret isn't that I failed. It's that I succeeded at the wrong things. I kept thinking love would wait, that my children would stay small, that my wife would always be across the table. I thought presence was something I could schedule later, like a vacation you book once the busy season ends. There is no end to the busy season. It just becomes your life.
The greatest mistake in life is not failure, it's postponing what matters most. This man didn't lose his family through anger or betrayal. He lost them quietly by choosing work over presence, responsibility over connection, and later over now. He believed love would wait. He believed there would always be another dinner, another conversation, another ordinary day. But time doesn't wait. It moves forward, taking moments with it, moments that never come back. Success gave him comfort, status, and security, but it couldn't give him back the missed school play, the quiet evenings with his wife, or the closeness he unknowingly let fade. In the end, he learned that being needed at work is temporary, but being present for the people you love is what gives life meaning. The moral is this: don't trade irreplaceable moments for replaceable achievements. Work will always be there. Deadlines will always return. But the people you love are only here for a limited time. One day, the noise of ambiti will fade, and all that will remain are your memories or your regrets. So sit longer, listen more, show up now, because the ordinary moments you think you can afford to miss are the ones you'll wish you could live again.